All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Markers Plus demonstration. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Blockchain Cartel's Discord room. This Discord room that we're part of is primarily for myself and my son. He set that up for us so that we could we both trade NASDAQ futures. We live stream every day, market commentary, exchanging trade ideas and things every morning from about 9:30 until at least 11 or 11:30, and then we keep our charts going all day long. We've got a group of traders that come in here that a lot better traders than I am, and seem to be doing very well. So again, welcome to the demonstration, and let's get right to it. All right, disclaimer first, I am not affiliated with Markers Plus nor the indicatormarket.com. I am not a Markers Plus expert. I'm not being compensated in any way by providing this demo. I won't even discuss the price. I'm going to leave price discovery up to you, the trader, if this is something you're after. I'm not trying to sell this. I'm not pushing this. It is probably the only software package that I've ever bought that I use on a daily basis, and I've bought dozens and dozens and dozens of indicators that I don't use at all, because once you have markers you can create everything. It's just limited to your imagination. All right, the purpose of this demonstration tonight is to simply demonstrate a few very simple capabilities of Markers Plus. The creator of Markers Plus, Pablo, never talked to him before, but the minute I saw this package, I realized the value that it held. For someone like myself, a non-programmer. Pablo has hundreds of videos describing Markers Plus. I'm going to try and take dozens of his videos and cram it into one very quick overview of what the capabilities are of this package right here. And also want to provide a baseline comparison for any trader out there that may be looking for this type of solution, just so you're aware of some of the capabilities and you'll be able to compare it to other products on the market out there. So the agenda tonight, we're going to talk about what Markers Plus is. We're going to create from scratch case study 1, simple trend pullback model. Case study 2, I'm going to show you how to program a dynamic fib model in that's tied to the current session high and low, and then we're going to showcase other models. So the whole purpose of this is for me to not don't think that what I'm showing you here is the Shiwate of trend models. Every trend model, this is my opinion, every trend model is the same. You just have to find something that's visually appealing to you that you can register with, internalize. XXX's trend model is no better than YYY's trend model. If you've got the access to the parameters, you can loosen and tighten a trend model to get the same results that anybody gets in their trend models. Nobody will tell you that, but that's the truth. You can take a Donchian channel and a moving average crossover system and a host of other things, BLT trigger lines, and you can adjust the parameters and get to the same conclusion. It's just the visual part of that, and that's what I like about markers, is I can take my ideas and I can put that, color code things on a chart and make the chart pop out, so that I'm not looking at dozens of indicators. I automatically know if I have a blue bar against a green background, I know what that means, and so that's a way I like to use Markers Plus. So let's get in and talk about what Markers Plus is. So Markers Plus is a software package, and once you get the package installed, this is what it looks like when you open up the indicator store folder. You're going to have all of these applications inside. Now, what I use most is Markers and, Markers Copy, Markers Logic, and then if I'm going to automate or semi-automate, I automate stuff for fun. I semi-automate things just to check the validity, but I primarily trade manually. So I'm using these things and copy logic to make my chart come to life. That's what I'm doing. But then you can turn it into an automation or a semi-automation program. So, and the main advantage of markers is that it's very simple and requires no programming skills. So you are myself. I can't write computer code at all, but I can describe what I want to see in the market, and that's what's so beautiful about this markers program. I think Pablo's a genius for coming up with a product like this, and I think it's reasonably priced for what it does. All right, here's the steps that I follow to create any model. Step one is I capture, copy the indicator or the level as part of your equation with markers copy, and then create a variable that can be referenced later. You'll see me do that when I start creating the trend model. Step two is we use that variable that we created up here for condition statements with markers and or markers logic to create fast signals, bar coloring, background coloring, arrows, vertical lines, etc. Step three, this fast signal that I have in quotes up here, we can take the fast signal name and feed it into markers plus to either automate or semi-automate the entries. So that's it. That's your steps for creating this right here. Now there's multiple steps in step two, because if you want to, once you create your variables in step two, then you may have multiple markers ands or markers logics running in there. If you want to color the background, you want to color the bars when this happens, you want to color the bars if this is taking place, and then if it's really strong, you want to color the bars like that. So you could have a whole string of markers and markers logic in there to create the type of chart you're looking for. All right, case study number one. When we get to this, the end state will be to develop the trend model and replicate this chart. Okay, we've got subtask 1 through 5. So we're going to create the model, color the chart background when it's bullish, bearish, create the pullback signals. We're going to color code the bars using a momentum oscillator, and we're going to create the logic to turn the signals into an automated or semi-automated entry with markers plus. And normally it takes less than 15 minutes to do this. It might take me a little bit longer while I'm describing, but that's typically about 15 minutes to do this, a little bit less. Case study 2, we're going to end state is to develop this dynamic fib model that takes its cue from current high and low. I know you're probably saying, well, there's fib levels out there an indicator I can already use. So I don't have to do this in markers. I mean, why would I spend my time doing this? Well, you'd be missing the point. I'm just trying to show you how to reference levels, and I'm going to show you several things I do, several concepts I use with this right here in charts that I monitor on other monitors just to keep myself in track and look at different levels right here. So the subtasks here are we're going to capture the high and low of the day, and then we're going to create all these levels based on that. I won't create a trend model here. I'm going to use the time save for that to show you different applications that we've already created, just to give you some ideas. All right, so let's go ahead and move right into it. So we're going to be using the Ninzarenko bars for this, 22.4. And what I like to do anytime I'm starting fresh, I'll add about 15 days. I want my candle body outline to be a 2. I want my candle wick to be a 3 because I like the John Wick trades and those really pop out. And I turn the bars I color them all silver because, again, I want the color of what I'm creating to pop out. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a trend model. But I'm going to go into properties first here, and I am going to change this to dark gray. I'm going to get rid of I don't like the horizontal and vertical lines, so we're going to transparent those. Alright, so we've got our start. Now let's go ahead and kick this party off. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a derivative of a linear regression. And I'm going to use the EMA slope indicator to do that. So we're going to add that. We're going to put a 9 period. And again, I'm going to go fast here, so I'm not... You can slow this down if you need to. So I'm going to go back in and grab the linear regression. We're going to do a 9 period EMA of 108 period linear regression. I'm going to wipe the label backslash there. Let's go down here. Solid. We're going to do dash dot dot. And we're going to make this a 3. We're okay with the colors right there. Just want you to see that. Alright, so that's the basis of our trend model. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it'll pop out even more for you. Yeah, I think you can see that green pop out of there okay. Alright, so that's a 9 period moving average of a 108 period linear regression right there. Alright, so now we're just going to take linear regression. I like using linear regressions for a lot of these trend models. They offer some unique perspectives. We're going to make this black. And we're going to turn that into a 3, leave it solid. Alright, so what we want to do is you can see the 108 period linear regression crosses over the linear regression derivative right there. So what we want to do is capture these two indicators, create variables, and then color the background and color the bars. We're actually going to use an oscillator to color the bars. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go right to indicator store. We're going to go markers copy. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go give it a variable. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to call this LREG. LREG1. Now here's where we capture the actual indicator. So we're going to do the linear regression pure first. So it's a 108 period linear regression. Click OK. Alright, we're good there. Okay, get into the naming convention. So what I always do in my naming convention is I'll start it with markers to separate it from everything else I might have in there. And then when I'm copying it, I just want to call it what it is. That way I know what I'm looking at. There's a function up here to show copied lines, so we're going to leave that in place to make sure I've got it all. It's going to show as dots. So let's hit it, and you probably can't see it on there, but there's dots protruding from this black line. You can see the black is kind of blue right now, so success there. Let's go back and let's capture the derivative. So we're going to do the same thing, markers copy. We're going to go back here and we're going to call this LREG2. And we're going to create the derivative. We're going to go down and grab the EMA first. That was 9 period. And then we come here. Anytime you want to create the derivative, you're going into the input series. We're going to open that up, and we're going to go down and snag the linear regression. And that's a 108. Okay, that checks. 9108. Okay, good. All right, let's name this markers and reg derivative. Okay. All right, good. We've got show copied line. Let's take a look. Yep, you see the dotted line popped up right there, so we captured that. All right, we're back to the indicator, so I'm going to go ahead and deselect those copied lines. I don't need to see those. I'm going to leave the originals up there just so you can initially see everything. So now what we've done is we've actually created variables for these two moving averages. And so now we can reference those. So let's go back to the indicator store, markers and what we're going to do first is we're going to color the background. So condition 1, and this is where you have to either remember or write down your variables. So, and it is case sensitive, so if you misspell it, it's going to say, hey, I don't recognize this. So LREG1 current bar is greater than LREG bar LREG2 current bar. Okay, and I'm going to go back and just double check. I'm always paranoid. LREG1, LREG2. I go back, double check. LREG1. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to come down here, and in the visual signals, we're going to select all. We're going to select bar color from those choices. And we are going to color this, we'll start with medium aquamarine. We're going to give this a result, and that would be LREG up. And we're going to name it. So this is naming convention again, M underscore. When I do background, I use BG, and then this is when reg up. Okay, so I know this is the code for that. So let's go ahead and pull that up, and I don't really want to see the histogram. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the, we're doing background, hit the wrong thing, okay? And that's got the naming convention right there, so and let's go a little bit darker on the coloring here. So all right, that stands out. Okay, so now you can see that. So right now we see we've captured the crossovers. So now we can quickly tell, you know, with the background color that, hey, the trend is, you know, if you wanted to take these indicators off, you could take them off and just go simply by this. A couple of trades. Let's go to data series that we put on today. Do not plot. Okay. All right. So that works. So now let's go in there and create the down background color. So we go in here again, markers and we're going to create LREG1 current bar less than LREG2 current bar. Click OK. Come down here. We want all of them to paint. We're going to do background, and this time we're going to use, we'll try brown. All right, so I want the same naming convention there, so LREG down, underscore down, and the label, so it'd be markers background linreg down. Let's click OK. We don't need to see the histogram. Make sure we've got our bar coloring right. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we've got our backgrounds colored. It's just that quick, and you can do this with any type of indicator you want to do. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's create some pullback signals. So we're going to go in here again, pull up markers and we're going to say condition 1 is LREG 1 current bar is greater than LREG 2 current bar. All right, now we want to add. So the current bar is always 0 whenever you're referencing this. So we're in a bullish environment. That's what we're defining now. So we want the reversal bar. We want to pull back and then the reversal bar in the direction of the uptrend. So current bar would be close. Current bar is greater than the open current bar. All right. And we want the close 1 bar ago to be less than the open 1 bar ago. And we want at least a 2 bar pullback here, so we're going to add another one. And we want the close 2 bars ago to be less than the open 2 bars ago. All right, so now with those conditions, we want to paint the first. We're going to do arrow up. We're going to do black. First, we want it below, the arrow below. So we want the first signal painted. Want it below the price action. We want an arrow up. We want to paint it black. We're not going to show the histogram just yet. Result name will be pull back up. And we'll call this pull back up. Okay, double check, make sure we got everything good there. So let's take a look at this, see if it plays out for us. All right, we got our up arrows. So let me collapse the panes. We don't need to see those. They don't need to be up, occupying space. I know the arrows are small, but you can see that they're plotted. So you're in an uptrend, you get an arrow, the close of that bar is entry. Close of that bar is entry. All right, so let's go back and do the downtrend. Pullbacks, markers and. All right, so we're going to go LREG 1, current bar is less than LREG bar, current bar. Okay, so LREG 1, current bar less than LREG. All right, and we want to add. So now we just do the reverse logic, which is we want the current close to be less than the current open. And we want the close 1 bar ago to be less than greater than close one bar ago. And we want the close 2 bars ago to be greater than close the open 2 bars ago. Okay, so that should be our pullback. Okay, all right, again, first we want this above, arrow down. We're going to paint this red. We use same logic we used here, pull back down. And we'll use same logic there, and pull back down. All right, let's check it out. We don't need to see the histogram. Let's see if this works, see if I got the verbiage right. And again, this is just a concept. This isn't saying that this is, oh, must have something not right in my verbiage up here. Let's go back and check the conditions. LREG 1, okay. It all looks right. Oh, I see what it is. Yeah, LREG 2. That's it. Okay, I'm glad that actually happened, because that's when you get those messages. It'll reference and say close is not found. What that means is somewhere in your syntax you've left out something in your variables. So, all right, now we should be working. Yeah, it's just the concept of this. You can use anything to create your trend models. All right, let's collapse the panes. And there we have our red arrows. You can put, this is just good visuals that you can reference. Now, once you see this, you're like, well, yeah, I might want to filter these out, these potential trades out. You can do that by creating something else in there, but you can see this works. Downtrend, arrow, 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 arrow. So it's all working right there, just the way we want it to for the demonstration purposes here. All right, so now the last thing, I'm going to show you how to incorporate a momentum oscillator to color the bars. So that way, you know, if you have a favorite momentum oscillator that you like to use, you're like, well, I'd really like to see when this and this and when this momentum oscillator does this, how does that look inside this model right here? Well, we can build that in. There's no limit what you can build into this thing right here. So let's go back again. Now we're gonna go back to copy. I'm gonna move this up. I try to cluster all of my copies, you know, together, my backgrounds together, you know, the pullbacks, and finally we'll have bar colors. But what we need to do now is grab an oscillator. I'm just gonna grab MACD. We'll call it MACD1. So let's go grab it. We're gonna grab the MACD. We're gonna change this. Let's change this to an 81, and you want to make sure you're grabbing exactly what you need. You can select all those different things in here, but we want the MACD proper, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll go down here to label and call it common name, and I actually want to see this plot. So we're going to leave show copied line. We're going to change this to a new panel and go ahead. There it is. Copied it, so we're good to go. All right, so let's go back in here and make the magic happen. Soon as it completes its calculations. Alright, now we're just going to go back, grab markers and we're going to say MACD1 current bar is greater than, and we're gonna make it be greater than 0. We're gonna make it greater than 1. Okay. All right. So when that happens, we want to paint all of them. We're gonna do bar color, and we're gonna do Dodge blue. All right. So this will be bars up, BC, and up. That's all we need to put there. We've already checked all that, so let's see if bar colors work, and I'll turn all this off here just a second. Alright, so now we've got our bars colored. So now you have your trend model linear regression that's telling you, hey, we're bullish right now. You've got a MACD that's not only is it greater than 0, it's greater than 1, meaning that bars are blue as long as whenever we code this to be crimson, as long as they don't turn crimson, you're taking these pullbacks. Okay, this one right here, well, let's go ahead. Now we know that works. Let's go back and we'll code in the other bars. All right, so let's go back up and snag markers, and we already have the variable, so all we need to do now is just say MACD1 current bar less than -1. All right, and we want to paint them all. Bar color, want it to be crimson. We're going to use same language here, double M. So we're going to use bars up, we're going to use bars down. Alright, I'm going to go back and turn the histograms off. The MACD copied line, we'll turn that off. Alright, and final thing, down. Alright. All right. So now you've got like triple confirmation of where you take your signals. You've got a background that's telling you this trend model's bearish. I'm going to deselect these so you can just see the pure chart. Right, there is our arrows, final thing. So we're in a bearish environment. The MACD is red. It hasn't even buckled yet. It's telling you it's below -1. So any reversal here, you take those closes. Take that first one and try to hold. Same thing for here. You get into a bullish environment. The bars are blue. They don't change. They don't buckle. They come back and you take that first reversal bar. this is a good example. What I wanted you to see is that you notice that I've got a +1 and a -1 tagged in the MACD. I like doing this because it gives me a transition zone, and it doesn't flip easily. I want the strongest trends in when I'm using an oscillator, so I'll give it thresholds, not just a break above 0, on those oscillators. So this one breaks actually below 1, but it doesn't cross below -1, so the bars stay silver. And this is why I keep my bars silver when I set the charts up, so that way I can see these transitions, because I always try to plot a transition zone in the indicators. And there's several things you can do, especially with the B4 indicator, that lets you plot like 2 different layers of transition in there. But again, this is a valid up signal. You don't have red, so it's a go time. Here the MACD finally transitions, gets below -1 to red. You're in the reddish background, pull back, and you get the down signal. So there you go. All right, now the only thing we need to do is to go back here and figure out how you want to. We're going to take the pullback up and down. We're going to use that for automation. Now I don't have a live chart or feedback, and we don't have time for this demonstration for that. I'm just going to show you how to program this stuff in. So all we do is you pull up the condition block that you want your automation signal tied to. So it's going to be the pullbacks for us. So all I'm going to do is come here and create a fast signal and just go, for the up one is buy pullback. Okay. And for this one, I'm going to create a fast signal and sell pullback. All right, now that we have that, we go up here and just grab markers plus 2024, and we don't worry about any of this. We come down here, it's all going to be market orders the way I use this. We don't enable any of the filters. The only thing that we are doing is I bypass this every time I do it, so it's enable fast signal mode. There it is. I overlook it every time. All right, and then all we do is we put our variable for the fast signal in right there. So buy PB. And sell PB. You can set your max daily loss profit to whatever you want to, and it adheres to that. And then you'll notice once it queues up, now you have a different look on your screen. So Sim 101. Well, you would select, I don't have this chart right here, and I'm not going to take the time to do that, but to activate this, you'll have some type of ATM in there, and then you just click this. It will tie itself, markers will tie itself to your ATM. You come over here and automated mode. Make sure you're in the right account. You just click there. It matches what you have pulled up here, and then for me, when I'm doing this, I like waiting for when I see the pullback happening, and then I'll just click the short and let it go to work. So that's all there is to it. All right, that concludes the trend model. I'm going to go quickly through the fib model, just a couple of steps there to show you how to reference levels, and then I'm going to show you some demonstrations. I'm not going to go all the way through the fib model. Once you see how you reference these levels here, then it's just common across the board. So, all right, so let's go ahead and open up a new chart. Again, 22.4. We're going to load 15 days. We're going to change this to 2. Change this to 3. We're going to make our bars silver. We're going to go to properties. We're going to make this dark gray. We're going to remove those. Vertical lines, horizontal lines. All right, so there's our chart to work off of. Let's get right to work. All right, so let's go to indicators, and let's go to, I'm not even going to show you the indicator. I'm just going to grab, I'll create it and show it to you on the chart here. So we're going to copy. All right, we're going to go and call this high a day 1. Let's go in there and snag that. So we'll go to current high a day inside of NinjaTrader, and we want to snag the high. All right, we definitely want to see the copy. Markers high a day, same as input. I want this to be a solid line. And 2. All right, there we go. So there's our high of day right there, blue line. Okay, check. Now let's go for low a day. Markers copy. Low a day 1. Let's go snag it. Snag the low, come down, that's good, got that. Markers, low a day, and same as input, we're going to make this red. Make it a line, make that a 2. All right, there's our low of day. Work. Okay, now let's go in there and put the 50% level in. We're going to use markers logic. So for this, we're going to say high a day 1, current bar, minus high a day 1, current bar, minus low a day 1. Yeah, let me make sure. I'm always paranoid of my variables if I don't write them down. Yep. All right. Day 1 current bar times 50 divided by 100. All right, so this will be M 50%. We want this in the same as input series. We are going to change this to goldenrod or something along those lines. All right, we're also going to change it to a hash. 3 is good. So let's see what we've got. I thought I changed that to left a 0 off there. That would make a difference. There we go. Okay. So now we have our 50% level. And I'll scrunch this down so you can kind of see. All right, so now you got your half back. All right, now one thing I do neat with this right here is let's put these on. Go back to markers logic. We're going to do high of day 1 current bar minus high of day 1 current bar minus low of day 1 current bar. Yep, got that right. Times 70, and let's do 61 point, yeah, 61.8. 0.8 divided by 100. Don't forget to put that on there. Got that right, okay. None. Oh, typo there. I was about to return an illogical statement. Markers. Same as input. All right, we want this black. Hash 3. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, so now you can see we've put the, and you can go right down the line with this right here and just create all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to put any more lines on this because you see the concept, but I'm going to show you some stuff that's really neat you can do with this concept here. All right, so this, I'll have another line. I use, you can call them whatever you want to. They're just fib levels, but from the high to low, I use this. This is the 50%, 61.8. I'll have a 76.2, and then of course up here we'll have the 30 to 23.8. Above that as well. So, but you can adjust those ever what you want to. Key levels. It's the concept is what I want to drive home. So now that you understand how you can do that, and you can create variables on these lines. I'm going to show you that in just a second and reference those, and you can reference any kind of level that that you like to follow. If there's something esoteric that you follow that you've noticed that that changes dynamically, you can just plug that into your markers and it'll calculate that stuff for you. So all right, so now let me show you some of the other models. Now that you kind of see the, understand the logic behind this right here. Let's just go through a couple. That's not the one. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know why that's doing that right there. I'm not doing anything to make it do that. All right, so this is what I was talking about. This is a completed fib model right here. So you've got all the levels programmed in. Now, what this line right here is it's the VWAP. And what I've done is I've taken the EMA slope indicator, I've made a 2-period EMA out of the VWAP. So it's a derivative of the VWAP. So now I can see, visually see an uptrend because it's, it's either green or it's red. Okay. Now, how I'd like to use this this fib model for is I have the bars colored. See, I have these lines referenced with variables, and whenever the close gets above this line, I code it blue. So everything is, it's either blue or gray. It doesn't change trend until it drops down below this level here. So you can see all these trends, and I'm watching this closely through the day. You're just looking for setups. For me, I'm a scalper. I'm looking for setups on a smaller level. So this pullback here fits my trend model that I'm getting into. These pullbacks here fit the trend model. We were actually taking these in the room this morning. On the way up there. That's where most of us got finished for the day. All right. So and you can see here when it drops down below, it's colored red. So you're looking for reasons to get short, somewhere, whether you're trading against these levels or whether you've got a scalping system. So it's pretty neat. I like that. And I combine it with the VWAP. So when we're red VWAP and we're red bars, meaning we're below that line, I'm definitely looking for short trades on my scalping model. Okay, so that's one way to use that. Another model that's really neat for referencing levels is the Donchian channel. So what I created here with the Donchian channel is I put the midpoint. This is a 108 period Donchian channel, and I put the midpoint between there, and then I created 60%, 40% boundary around the highs and lows, and created a trend model. So you can see here, it's anytime I get the MACD is also part of this equation. So what I've done with the MACD is, again, above 1, and it's strong. We poke our head above, we come back, we don't take out this low, we're still blue, so I would take that trade right there and try to get my 5 points. As the MACD comes down, it slips, it gets below its 1, it gets into the transition zone, and then it drops below -1 right there. I also have it plotted with the B4, so there's some other things factored into that too. So now we're red, and we start poking our closes below that boundary. So now I'm looking for a short trade, an extended move. I'll say I would take this one. I know I wouldn't, but I'll say I'd take this one. You'd probably lose on that trade. But the neat thing about this is it rallies all the way back up. It doesn't go through the upper boundary, stops at the midpoint. So now we're still looking for short trades. So, it's kind of a neat model. I really like it. So blue above, pull back, doesn't violate this, it stays blue, try to get my 5. It's this whole up move right here, it comes back into it, and it doesn't shake it at all on these big pullbacks. And it's really a really neat function of this model right here. And Sally, it doesn't cost $13,000, so it's absolutely free if you have markers. Okay, so that's an idea there. Just disregard this. This is this cumulative delta model that I've worked with. It's not factored into this. I'm just looking at it. All right, so here is another. This is another variation to what we build, but this is using the BLT trigger lines. So let me show those to you so you can just see the things that you can build into these. Whatever you like. None of these trend models are better than the other. I keep saying that. They're not. There is no trend model better than the other one. If a guy says, well, my signals, look at that signal right there. I captured that move. Well, you can adjust the parameters of any trend model to be as tight or as loose as you need to. So that doesn't wash with, whenever I hear somebody say that, I immediately am like, yeah, you're you're a scammer. I'll tell you the truth, and it doesn't matter. All trend models are the same. I have literally put hundreds of them together. So, but this is a neat feature I built in here is using these trigger lines, and it's a tight scalpers trigger line model. So when the BLT trigger lines are positive and the sloping, this is linear regression that we built in the other one, 9-period EMA of the 108-period linear regression. When those two are in alignment, the bars are blue. The pullback, as long as it doesn't turn red, it just means one of these is out of tolerance. You still take the up trades, okay? Pullback, it doesn't turn red, you still take the up trades. All right, we get a red, it doesn't turn blue, you take the down trades. So it's another neat function, another neat way of looking at these things. Again, this is definitely more of a scalper's setup right here than anything else. Now I could loosen the parameters again and turn it into something else, but that's that. Yeah, we already looked at this. This is what we built here. So here's something else. You can reference the swing highs and lows, the pivot points, and you could paint the bars. So all I've done here is, default settings on the swing indicator out of NinjaTrader, and whenever a swing low or high is violated, it paints that bar that violated it. So we get a red bar here for violating that, closing below it. So now I would be waiting for a pullback and then a resumption of the trend. Break it, pull back, we don't get red, resumption of the trend. Blue pulls back, no red, up close, resumption of the trend. So that's how I use all these things right here. I wait for the trend to emerge, I let the pullback play out. If there's no other information that's changed, I have to assume that the reversal bar is going to continue. All right, here's another model that I really like. It's using the trend magic. So first component of this is, of course, the red and blue bars. So when the bars are red, the short-term trend magic is below the long-term. Okay, it stays red as long as that's true. Where the power is, the powerful higher probability trade pullback trades is when the chart background changes color. So when the chart background changes color, that means that both of these are in their trend is -1. That's what that refers to, and they stay -1 until they go to +1. They're binary. They're either up or down. Even when they're flat right here, it's still -1 until there's a flip back up. So the strongest pullbacks occur and for bear trends, bars are red, pullback, and you're in this light red background. And then you have to assume that the trend's going to continue. Same over here. You get the blue bars will typically precede the chart background, but as soon as it gets in, you get the pullback. You got a John Wick there. I probably would have taken. You pull back here that you definitely could have gotten your 5 points off of. So I call this my black and white model because it's black and white. There's no other interpretation to this right here. It's the trend is in a bear. It's the trend. The bars are red, the background is light red, and the pullback occurs and the reversal happens, and you just take the trade. Okay, that's it. This thing has a tendency to stay with some good trades. Gives you plenty of opportunities, even though I will typically play the first one and maybe the second one, and that's it. So that's another neat variation, adaptation. Yeah, it's nothing new I could show you here on this one right here. So Well, listen, folks, we're right up against the 1 hour time I had set aside for this. So I'm going to go ahead, stop the recording. And if you guys have any questions or anything, I will, I'll take some time and answer those. Or if you want to think about it, DM me. That's fine as well. So, but I appreciate everybody listening in to this. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll take some questions.